Oh,
Why is only half of your head in?
good morning.
Oh my god, that looks so freaky.
Why?
Because only your mouth
I
was
know,
in the
it's
screen
funny.
and it said good morning. That scared me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's not the same shirt. I got 3 of these.
I'm told him I'm making him different color shirts from now on because it just looks like he's wearing the same thing every day.
Maybe I am.
That would be gross.
Man, I have 3 of these.
No,
you know what?
Actually, you have 4 of them,
The jersey.
including the jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
You're not allowed to press the same shirts anymore.
I like that slogan. 1 mile at a time. That represents so much more than cycling.
That is a really cool slogan.
It's life.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
it's life. It's 1 step at a time, 1 mile at a time, 1 day at a time. So, yeah. I'm gonna do more show and tell real quick.
Oh my god, are you serious?
No, this stuff.
All of that?
Just real quick. Look.
And the other day, you know what I was going to do? I was going to do a coffee taste test. And he didn't allow me to do it.
Acrylic paints. I went through my paints because I was gonna finish that one, and
But he can do show and tell.
so I looked at my paints to see which ones I needed, but then you found a pack that had all the primary colors. It was cheaper to buy all the whole thing.
Sure was, shorty.
So,
Sure was.
and then a couple of my brushes were messed up. So these are I have other brushes, but these are the 2 that were destroyed, so I had to rebuy them.
The little tiny things that make such a big difference, huh?
Yeah. Oh. This is this too. 6 canvases, landscape. I never had landscape like this.
That was only $10. That was like the biggest steal ever. And then you got
Yes.
50% off coupon, right? Or was it the 50% off coupon for that? Oh no, huh?
No, they were just on sale.
$10.
$10 for 6 of those canvases. And I remember I was like, man, I want to do landscape canvases. And I like that they're small. It's like, the other ones are just, it's too much.
You should paint my photography.
We've already talked about that.
So you're gonna do it?
I don't know. But we need to find some landscape stuff, or not landscape pictures, but I mean, wide landscape something. So, yeah. I found a couple things that I did in the past, and these are,
That's really old stuff, huh?
well, that's what I'm about to tell them. I actually painted these. I was going through my daughter's closet, because the other day,
Think of my tooth.
the
Sorry.
the Wi-Fi guy came and he was looking for whatever, and we had to go into my daughter's room in her closet because there was a box there. Anyways, I saw a stack of my paintings of stuff I had sent from prison. Here's one. It actually says 2008.
OMG, that's a long
So I didn't get out till 2 years later after I painted this. So look at this. Look, he's on my shoulder. So- and then this one, 2008. It's of my son Gabriel, the one I just graduated. But 2008, I don't know how old he was. Yeah. That's my son Gabriel with his big teeth when he was little.
Your little buck teeth.
Yeah. And then this one I painted a portrait of my son David. But that eye looks too small. I would have done it better now. But
That was, wow. That was what,
2008.
10, 11 years ago?
Yeah.
11 years ago.
What do I say to David? Because he's named after me. I love you, mijo. Soon I'll be home with you. I hope you like this painting of you. Take care of it. Nobody loves you like me, Daddy. 2008. So, stuff I found from old stuff.
I know.
Yeah, and in prison they didn't let us do. It was just flat canvases. Look,
That's my favorite painting.
she's pointing at the one where if you go to the earlier videos when I'll be sitting at the.
No, they didn't get to see it. Go get it.
No, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go over there. I have the mic pinned to me.
Oh, hold on.
No, that's too far.
You're not nice.
No, they gotta just go back to the old video and they'll see it.
You didn't really show it.
Yeah, I
You
did.
said this was show and tell.
No, I did. Yeah, go show and tell it. Go and get it.
Go get it.
No, I already did it. Actually, at the earlier videos, I actually scanned it up and down from top to bottom.
Really?
Yeah,
How come I didn't see it?
because you're probably asleep that day.
Oh, wow.
So, today was our Bible study day, so we're going to keep it short
Yeah, really short.
because Wednesdays are getting really hard to do a Thursday video, to be quite honest with you guys. By the time we get home, because we usually have Bible study 7 to 8 o'clock, and then we fellowship a little bit because people want to hang out, which is fine. You know, we love our families, we love our people. And then we usually have worship practice. So anyways, usually by the time we get home, it's really
Today,
late.
We brought our godson home with us. So.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's here and he's knocked out and we had to feed him. We had to get him a couple of things. So it's late. And usually when, I'm not saying that I want to do this, but usually Thursday mornings are going to be like short just because we get home so late.
Short like me.
Like I was already falling asleep before Bible study. I was knocked out right here on the couch before we left.
I know.
You know, so I'm tired. You're tired.
Yeah.
But I said let's do a video. You know, and the thing I wanted to talk about is such a huge story, so I'm not even going to get into the story, but I want to talk about more about what was said. And in Genesis, Old Testament, like I said, I don't want to do the story, but this verse stands out without even knowing the story. If you want to go ahead and read it, you can. It's the last chapter of Genesis.
Which one?
The last chapter, 50.
I know, but you got it for people. Not everybody.
Oh,
knows,
Genesis
but you gotta
50.
Tell people.
Genesis 50, 20.
Okay.
Okay, and there's a whole good story around this, but I feel like if I say a little bit of it, I gotta say it all. So I'm not gonna say the story. I am not telling you the story. I refuse. No. But why are you in Corinthians?
I'm trying to get to Genesis.
Oh.
Calm down. I'm on an electronic device that's running slow.
While she's looking for that.
Genesis 50:20.
Yeah. Oh, you found it already?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it then. Genesis 50:20.
But I'm in the message.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to read this verse. Where Joseph says, he says to his brothers, and he says this to them, "But as for me, you meant evil against me.
Oh, I love this verse.
You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good,
Yes.
in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive." Do you realize that that verse right there helped me forgive the person that told on me to the FBI? Because he was an old friend, had been my friend for years. I knew his family, he knew mine. I knew his dad, he knew my dad and my mom. And he came wearing a wire. I was the 7th person he did it to. And they were paying him. He wasn't doing it to get out of going to jail. That was worse. That he did it for monetary gain. And I was obviously angry. I mean, I caught a lot of years because of this guy. But when I came across this verse, and it says this, and it even means more now, reading it now, years after I released, because I released 2010, 9 years later. He says, "As for me, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive.
And do you know it's so crazy?
Yeah.
This is just one of the most, you know how much I love this story. You know how much it means to me. Because for me, I told you that it's always been the 4 P's, you know, from the beginning, you know, how Joseph was persecuted, he persevered, and I always feel that he was being positioned for God's purpose, and that was the purpose. When I read that verse there, that was the purpose. There was, you know, it's like he was being positioned. And even though in my life, I always felt like, okay, Lord, you know, you go through the persecution. People go through so much persecution in life, and we go through so much in life, but yet then we persevere. And even though in the secular world, in this world that we're in, God still positions us. But it's for his purpose, for his glory. And the outcome, when every time I would read that, and I'd be like, wow, Lord, there was a purpose. And it was for this, it was to bring all of Israel over to Egypt. You know, to bring his family there. And it was just awesome, because you remember when he revealed himself to his brothers.
I'm not talking about the story.
Oh man, I got so excited. Okay, shut up, Sharon. I'm not gonna go there.
This is a whole story, and I'm tired, and we're already 11 minutes in. So I want to use this verse for a relevant reason, not for the story, because the story is beautiful, but it's too long. But relevant.
I want to tell the whole story.
How is it relevant? Is the fact that you can forgive people that have done you wrong, because if it's like things that have happened to me, it's like this, he says, man, what you meant for evil, he's straight up telling them, you meant to do me harm. You meant to destroy me. You meant to tear me down. You meant to hurt me, but God used it for his own purpose. You know, and I think that is very relevant to a lot of people, that they're like, why did this happen to me? You know, and it's like, if it wasn't for the guy that told on me, I wouldn't have gotten saved. I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have met our families that are church. I wouldn't have met you guys. I wouldn't have this video out. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
Pastoring, you wouldn't have,
I wouldn't have done none of it. So even though this person, what is it? You know, it says, even though you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about to this day to save many people alive. That God does things for the purpose. That it's like, I love the fact too, it takes away the responsibility that God did this, because God didn't put me in jail. God didn't do this. God didn't do that. God didn't give you sickness. God didn't give you disease. God didn't, you know, it's not. But what I love about it is that even though the things that are done for us for evil, God will flip that around and use it for his glory.
But you know what else is so beautiful? That God's word can do something so different in so many ways in our lives, because that same exact word there spoke to me in such a different way in my life as it did in your life. And that's
people listening in their lives.
And in their life. And it can have such a tremendous effect, because even though you're trying to bring it how it was relevant in your life, it was so relevant to me in a whole different way. But it spoke to me, and it touched my life in a whole different way than what it did you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. But the thing is that the word remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
The word remains the same, but it has so much different relevance to it. So many different things.
Yeah.
So many. That's so rich.
So it's like, those of you that are watching this, right? I don't know why you're watching. I don't know what's happened in your life, but maybe it's like, you think, if you really think of all the things that brought you to this place, to this moment right now, that you're watching these videos, and maybe it's because somebody hurt you, or somebody did this, or somebody did that, or or the enemy came against you, brought sickness to your body, or whatever it is. But here's the thing, now you're in a position where you're serving God. And it's like all that evil that was done to you, now God has flipped it around and done it for his purpose and for his goodness. And that's what I love, the fact that no matter what the enemy does, God is smarter. God is ahead of him. God is maneuvering around him. God is more strategic. God is a strategic God. Do you know that?
He sure is.
He's a God of strategy. He is a master planner, a master strategist. And there's nothing that the enemy can do to you that God will not turn around for good. I'll give you a perfect example. Is not what happened to Jesus on the cross meant for evil? Wasn't it not to destroy him, to kill him, to ridicule him? Isn't that what Satan's plan was? Here's God in the flesh. I'm going to destroy him here on this earth. And God was like, yeah, what you meant for evil, I'm about to do good. And because out of that, many will be saved. This is actually a direct shadow of Jesus.
I'm going to turn it around.
Yeah, look at that. So Joseph hated by his brothers, and they meant evil against me, but God meant it for good in order to bring it about to this day to save many people alive. Couldn't Jesus say the same thing?
Yeah. He positioned it for his glory.
Jesus would have said,
purpose.
What you meant evil against me, God meant it for good, and this day to save many people.
Yes.
It's like, so.
Oh my God, you guys just go read that story. Since he doesn't want to talk about it right now.
That's not want to talk about it, but.
I know, I said right now.
Yeah.
But if you go read it, if you go read all of the story of Joseph, you'll be ready for when we do talk about it.
I'm going to give you guys homework.
Yes. Oh my God, please read it because it's one of my all-time favorite. I love it. It's so rich and it just speaks to your heart. And it's just beautiful.
So read Genesis 37, or especially Sister Christy. She's always asking what to read.
Yeah. Can we just start it from the beginning, though, all the way from...
No, that's the story of Joseph, when he has the dreams.
All the way from the beginning?
Yes.
When even before Potiphar and when he's having the dreams?
When he had the dreams, he was a kid.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So Genesis 37, start at chapter 37 of Genesis, all the way to the end of Genesis. That is the story. So we're talking about 13 chapters. That's why obviously we don't have time to tell you the story. And I would never want to do it in a 20, 30-minute video because it wouldn't do it justice because it's so rich, But guys, just remember, God will turn everything around for good. He always does. He is a master strategist. If he was here playing chess with you, you'd always lose. he's checkmating over the enemy every single day.
If you'd win, it's because he's letting you.
He would checkmate the enemy all day long, and that's why God is just awesome.
He is.
He's awesome, and
when you go play ball with your. When you go play ball with your dad or you play a game with one of your parents and they're so great at it and they win all the time, but they one of those moments they lose purposely just so that they can win, just so that you can feel like
Oops.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Just so that you can have that feeling of knowing what it feels like to win,
Mm-hmm.
It's such a beautiful feeling. And God will sometimes, be like, I'm going to let my child feel like they're, and that's, sometimes he will let us, go through that moment and have those moments too. Because we're winners. We have the victory in him.
Spinning is winning. That's a cycling thing.
Oh, you're talking cycling now.
Yeah. All right, guys. As you can tell,
I think we're tired.
We're tired. I'm talking about cycling. Sharon's talking about dads letting kids win. It had nothing to do with this. So we better end it before
I start talking about
it
something
gets
else.
stranger. Look at her. She's stretching her eyes. Look. So, all right, guys. Seriously, good morning. God bless you. I hope this did something for you today. And if not, I apologize. Thursday mornings are going to be weird usually because we're tired from Bible study. So, have a good morning.